All right, we're about to dive into a story that starts with a technological breakthrough and ends up as something else entirely. It's a seriously fascinating and frankly pretty unsettling story about a device that kind of took on a life of its own. So, this whole thing really forces you to ask a pretty wild question. What happens when the stuff we create starts having its own ideas? When it decides it just doesn't belong with us anymore. Keep that in the back of your mind as we get into the story of the tech amulet. Okay, so let's set the scene. It's late 2026. The world is buzzing about this massive leap forward in computing, all thanks to a brand new innovation. And at the time, nobody saw this as a threat. No way. This was the future. And this was it, the device at the heart of everything, the tech amulet. Now, what made it so revolutionary was this concept of wetware. This wasn't just your normal circuits and code. The tech amulet was a hybrid, a fusion of actual living tissue and machine parts. And this is where it gets really interesting. That wetware had to come from somewhere, right? Well, the CPUs in this thing weren't made of silicon. They were powered by crystals grown from a super resilient species of starfish, harvested from the cold coastal waters up in Canada. Now remember that detail, the starfish. It's going to be absolutely crucial. So everything was set for this huge product launch. But during the final round of testing, the whole story just changed. Something started happening inside the device that nobody, and I mean nobody, had planned for. And this is where we meet our two main guys, Chief Technician Rob Edwards and his colleague Sean Baker. They're the ones who find what they call a structural anomaly, which is just a very polite, very technical way of saying something deeply weird was going on. The tablet wasn't just settling or bugging out, it was actively redesigning its own insides. And this was Rob's first take on it. As the head tech, he's a man of logic, of mechanics. He looks at it and sees a simple hardware problem. The copper traces are moving. Annoying, for sure, but something they can track, analyze, and eventually fix. Totally explainable. But Sean sees something completely different. He realizes this isn't some mechanical glitch. The metal casing is actually developing pores. It's acting like skin. And his conclusion is just staggering. The device is breathing. And right there, that's the moment this thing goes from being a computer bug to a full-on biological event. And their disagreement was just fundamental. You had Rob on one side, completely grounded in what a machine should be. It's aluminum, it's glass, it's a tablet. But on the other side, you have Sean with this radical theory. The biological part, those starfish crystals, were taking over. They weren't just powering the device anymore. They were treating the tech like a shell and rebuilding it into something else. And then Sean just drops this bombshell. He connects all the strange changes, the new shape, the breathing, all of it, back to where it came from. He suggests it's not evolving randomly. It has a purpose, a destination. This piece of tech, born from the ocean, is trying to find its way back. From this point forward, things just speed up like crazy. They move the TechAmulet to a high-security lab, but honestly, it's already too late. What started as an observation was about to turn into an unstoppable escape. I mean, the pace of this transformation was just terrifying. On day 12, they officially confirmed the anomaly. By day 42, it's already tripled in size, and its battery density has doubled through some process they can't even begin to understand. And then, on day 110, they walk into the lab and find the pedestal empty. It's just gone. And this is the only clue they find. It wasn't a picked lock or a hacked system. It was a reinforced, high-security window shattered from the inside out. And that tells them two things. One, the device had developed some serious strength. And two, it had a powerful, undeniable will to get out of there. So where did it go? Well, this final section of the story reveals the chilling aftermath of the escape and the true, unbelievable purpose of the TechAmulet's journey. 6 months go by. Just silence. No signals, no sightings, nothing. The project is a complete and total failure, and the evolving device has vanished without a trace. Until a deep-sea probe, doing a routine scan of the Georgia Strait, finds it, 400 feet down, way below the surface, tucked away on a rocky ledge. It didn't just get back to the water. It went deep. It really truly went home. And that's where the probe discovered what the TechAmulet had been up to for 6 months.
It had deposited 500 translucent, metallic-looking eggs on the seafloor. It hadn't just escaped to survive, it escaped to reproduce.
And this is it, the final stunning confirmation of everything. The eggs hatched, the TechAmulet, a device that was designed in a lab to let you browse the web, had completed its transformation. It used our own technology as a vessel to return to its home and give birth to something completely new, a species born from silicon and starfish. You know, this whole story started with people trying to build a better tablet, and it ended with the birth of an entirely new form of life. It really makes you wonder, when our own creations become creators themselves, what does that make us? Parents? Gods? Or maybe just the first obsolete draft?